Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to GroupCast Sports Pick'em Edition. This will be our new weekly series where us guys sit down and discuss the upcoming games around the county, and we'll also have one featured game, that's throughout the state. Now, basically what the Pick'em is we discuss the games coming up, and each of us chooses who we predict is going to win that game, and at the end of the football season, we'll see who has the most wins and who has the most losses. So, getting things started, our first game, which will be our featured game, is going to be Jefferson Davis County versus Collins. Now, this is a really big game. Everyone knows, with Jefferson Davis, they added in Bassfield, Prentice. That team right there has tons of talent. But then again, Collins is almost unbeatable, to be honest with you. And that's honestly why I'm going to say Collins beats Jeff Davis. It's going to be a great game. But
I, for one, think that Jefferson Davis County will take the win. Excuse me. They won 22-20 last year, and they won state, so I have faith in them winning this game.
I'm going to go with Steven. I think the reigning state champs, I think they beat Collins. I do think it'll be a close game.
I'm not going to lie, I don't think it's that close. I think Jefferson Davis takes it. They won last year, and I think they've done nothing but got better this year. I know it's two different teams than there was last year, but I think Jeff Davis is just an absolute powerhouse when it comes to 3A. And honestly, I think they'll win the state championship yet again.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Alex. Like he said, Jeff Davis, they've always been a powerhouse with Bassfield in there. And Collins, they took the loss last year. I think they're going to take it again this year. It's just going to be a good game, and that's why it's our featured game.
I'm still going to stick with Collins. I think that it all comes down to the coaching, and I've been hearing that Collins is doing everything in their power right now to work with Brandon McDonald. If y'all don't know, Brandon McDonald was a big-time cornerback in the NFL from Collins, Mississippi. He's been working with the team. Real good guy and knows his football. I think that coaching comes down to who wins this game, and I think Collins outcoaches Jeff Davis. Now, going to our next game, we have Simpson Academy versus Leake Academy. To me, this is a no-brainer. Leake Academy beats Simpson Academy. Simpson, they have some good athletes, they have some good players, but in the end, they just don't have enough. They don't have what it takes to end up beating Leake.
I'm going to agree with that. I'm going to go ahead and talk over you. I'm going to agree with that because, honestly, I don't think this game is close either. I think Leake Academy is just overall better. Simpson Academy, honestly, I hate to say it, but has not shown me anything.
The Jamboree game,
first games, they seem like they don't know how to play. And that's sad but true. So I think Leake Academy is going to take this, and I don't think it's going to be very close.
I'm going to disagree with y'all because they did lose both games in the Jamboree, but they were very close games. I think one of them was by a 2-point conversion, and
that's the Jamboree. Their first game they lost.
Exactly. They only played 30 minutes, so you have no idea how the second half.
Well, we know how the first game went of the season. They lost 31-32-8.
Yeah, exactly. Simpson is going to get
I think for years now, Simpson has had a great football team, and I think now they are now in the rebuilding process. And I think that best case scenario for Simpson is that they get with their junior high kids, their JV kids, and they just start working with them and start figuring out how they can rebuild this program to the powerhouse that they've always been known to be.
I'd like to disagree with you, Grayson. I don't think they're necessarily in a rebuilding process. I think that they've just had too many injuries this year. I think, for one, quarterback Hooks Harvey going down with tearing his knee, and then Caleb Garner had a fractured back. I just think that the injuries have just gotten them, and I don't see this one being a close.
And see, I don't think you necessarily say. I don't think you necessarily say that this is a rebuilding team because if I'm not mistaken, I think they have 21 seniors.
They might. Okay, exactly. They have 21 seniors. They might not be in the rebuilding process, but I think they should be.
If they have 21 seniors, there is no reason that they should be losing.
I said I think. I'm not sure.
Either way, if you think that, then you must have.
This team's got a lot of weapons around. They got Winstead, they got Pepper, Gardner, but they just as a team, they're not there. They're just not there as a team.
I agree.
So
I've got Leake Academy winning.
All right.
I've also got Leake.
I got Simpson.
Leake Academy takes it, and it's not close.
I'm going with Leake by 21.
All right. Well, now going to our next game, we have the McGee Trojans versus North Forest coming out of Hattiesburg. Now, if y'all don't know, McGee ended up winning last week. They won 12-0. It did get rained out. Now, North Forest, I'm just going to be honest with you, they're not good. They're a low-ranked 2A school. I don't see why McGee would have any troubles with this game. And honestly, this is a good thing for McGee, and we'll get to the Mendenhall game shortly, but this is a good thing for McGee because they have the opportunity to blow this team out early, get their starters out, get some backups in there, rest their starters, save those guys, and get prepared for the Simpson County Super Bowl coming up. So I've got McGee winning big.
I've also got McGee winning big. McGee's defense is much improved on what they were last year. They haven't allowed a point, not only in the Jamboree, but not in the first game either, although it was rain short.
And I want to cut you there. I think it's pretty ironic that McGee scheduled a 1A in their Jamboree and now a 2A in their second game of the season. So I don't think you can necessarily say that their defense is good when they have faced no competition.
I'm not going to discount McGee because you can't say that they suck because they haven't faced good competition. You haven't seen them against good competition. They might still be good. I will say McGee wins this game. I will say I don't think we know what type of team McGee is this year because we haven't seen them play against any competition. But that doesn't mean you could write them off as bad because we don't know what they are yet. I think this will be a game that's not close. At the end of this game, we still won't know who McGee is as a team. But we'll see the next week at the Simpson County Super Bowl against Mendenhall who McGee really is. McGee takes this one, once again, not close.
I don't think either of these teams are good. Neither one of them. But I think North Forest, they're absolute trash, so I got McGee winning.
I agree with Randy. I don't think either one of them's good. McGee hasn't impressed me. They'll just have to show me next
Steven,
week.
you have McGee winning?
I got McGee by 25 to 30.
Okay.
That's unanimous, McGee.
Yeah, so everybody's saying McGee. North Forest, they're just not good. Now coming up to our next and last game of the night, Mendenhall versus Raymond. Now, it's no surprise that this Mendenhall team is explosive. They showed that Friday night against Florence. Now, I understand that Paw Lee, Florence's running back, was hurt, but he still played, scored 3 touchdowns, actually. But it doesn't matter. Putting up 62 points against any school, that's a good offense. That's a clicking
700 offensive yards. Might even been 700 plus, I believe.
I think that the biggest thing that we could take away from that game Friday with Mendenhall was how the running back, Michael Jr., stepped up and he absolutely showed out. We knew Christian Allen, the quarterback, was going to be good. We've known that all year. The big question has been, how would Michael Jr. How would he play this season? And he definitely stepped up and showed out. And I've got Mendenhall once again. This is going to be just like McGee. They're in a good situation right here. Get up to a not good Raymond school, beat them pretty good early on, and get those starters out, get them a rest, make sure nothing bad happens, get the backups in, and go from there and get ready for the Super Bowl.
I think, with Raymond coming in this week, this is a chance for Mendenhall to gain some momentum heading into the Simpson County Super Bowl. The offense, as you know, is explosive, and then in the second half, the defense was ferocious. They ended up having 3 fumble recoveries and, got 2 stops on 4th down, so 5 turnovers altogether. I have a lot of faith in this Mendenhall team, and I think they win very easily.
They also shut out Florence the second half. And like Grayson said, I think the biggest thing with Mendenhall was Michael Jr. And also, we known that Christian was a great athlete and everything, and he proved that Friday night. The whole football team proved, I think, a lot of people wrong. And I think Mendenhall wins very, very bad.
Mendenhall has already proved a lot of people wrong. I, for one, knew they were good. I didn't know they were that good. Florence was ranked really high coming into the season, and they got absolutely obliterated by Mendenhall. I think Mendenhall comes into Raymond, it's even worse. They might put up 70 points, I'll even say, with the backups after halftime. It's going to be ugly. Mendenhall wins by a lot. There's a lot of yards. I mean, the backups get a lot of time, and then they'll prepare for the Simpson County Super Bowl.
Mendenhall played a really great team last week in Florence. And one person nobody's talked about yet is Keyshawn Collier. And nobody really knew. He hasn't had much up until this year. But ever since this year started, he's came out explosive. We've really filled in a big hole for all the seniors that have left. And it was a really big hole for Michael Jr. and Keyshawn in the field, but the offensive weapons across the board, I don't see any 4A team in the state really being able to stop it. The defense, they could do a little bit better, but as they said, in the second half, Florence couldn't even score a touchdown, much less a single point. So I got Mendenhall against Raymond very easily. They beat them 48-0 last year, so I don't see it being much of a game this year.
Another thing I'd like to add is what we saw from Mendenhall that a lot of people didn't think they had in that Florence game was depth. They might not have a lot of players, but they had their backups were in, and they were still shutting Florence down. I'm talking about their backups to the backups were still doing exceptionally well. They have so many running backs on the team, so many weapons that it's hard. You won't be able to stop them.
Who's number 9?
Jarvis Walker.
He was the backup. He had a couple touchdowns.
He was the third string and had a touchdown. 81 yards.
Another thing
on one
about
drive.
Mendenhall is it's like they have a perfect player for each position. You
Yeah.
got Bobo Walker, Montrell Walker for like an end zone threat. You got Keyshawn, who's a 92-yard kickoff return. Michael Jr. I think had 3 touchdowns.
And we've been saying, you know, Mendenhall, if they could get that passing game to clicking, and if you could make Bobo Walker not just a red zone threat and a down the field threat.
He showed us down.
He showed us that. Him and Christian had a great pass.
Great pass.
56 yards.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful throwing pass. Great job by Bobo catching that. And then you also have Keyshawn Collier, who is just about as fast as lightning. Man, that's hard to stop. And I want to also add, you know, we are all from Mendenhall, but we're not biased at all. We might be a little biased, but the facts, what we're saying, we have facts to back it up. Mendenhall's a good team this year. Got some good coaches, got some really good players, and we're excited to see how this season's going to turn out. So just to make sure everyone understands, I've got Mendenhall winning against Raymond, winning big.
I think we all.
Yeah,
I think we've all got Mendenhall by
As for the
40
bias,
plus.
I want to state I had Florence winning by 14 before the game.
That's true.
A lot of people didn't believe in Mendenhall, but they really proved a lot of people wrong.
And a lot of people have been talking about, you know, how Florence didn't have Pawpaw Lee. Well, once again, Pawpaw Lee is a great running back. I mean, he's a guy who's going to be playing college football next year.
Dandy Dozen caliber player.
He's a great football player. Does that help Mendenhall that he was hurt? 100%. Help them tremendously. But that doesn't mean that Mendenhall goes and scores 62 points and holds Florence to 25. One player doesn't do that.
Another thing I want to add to Grayson, the coaches, that they do not get enough credit. They worked I think this summer, everyone that I talked to at school, the football players said they killed them, but they can now see why it's paid off. I don't think anyone, we didn't have, I don't think, but maybe 20-something players in all on the team, and
I think it's 30.
All those guys showed the utmost effort and everything, and that's all because of the coaches pushing them.
That was lacking depth. They especially make up with conditioning.
Yeah, that was the biggest question coming into the game was, you know, we have 5 to 6 players that have to play both ways, and as our coach says, play all ways. So, you know, the biggest question was, were they going to be able to hold up and play the full game? And I think they answered that Friday night.
And but like I said, we all have Mendenhall winning pretty big. It's no surprise, though. It is against Raymond, who's not very good. So now we're just going to go back over each pick for Collins and Jeff Davis. I've got Collins winning. Once again, I think that Collins just outcoaches
Do you want to bet
Jefferson
that?
Davis. I'll bet you $10.
25.
20.
Deal.
Well,
I've got Collins winning.
Jeff Davis.
I have Jefferson Davis County in a very close game.
I have Jeff Davis in overtime.
I have Jeff Davis by 14 points at least.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Jeff Davis by 10.
Next, we got the Simpson Academy Cougars versus Leake Academy. Once again, Simpson, they're not who they used to be. I've got Leake Academy winning pretty big.
I got Leake Academy by 40.
I have Simpson Academy in overtime. I think this week's going to be full of about maybe one, probably 2 overtime games, and I think Simpson Academy takes it.
Wow.
Simpson's bad. Lee County's good. Look for a 25-plus win for Lee County.
Yeah, like Grayson said, this is definitely not the same Simpson team we're used to. It's definitely not the same team as last year that lost by 1 point at the end of the state championship. They're just nowhere close to what they've been in recent years. Lee County, they're a very good team. I think they're number 4 in MAIS right now.
Yeah.
It's not even going to be a close game in my opinion. Probably 21 or more.
Next, we have the McGee Trojans versus North Forest. I got McGee winning. North Forest isn't good. McGee, we don't know just yet, but I've got McGee winning.
I've got McGee by 3 touchdowns.
I have McGee winning.
McGee, and like I said, it's not close. We don't know who McGee is yet, but we do know that they're better than, who is it again?
North Forest.
North Forest, exactly. With McGee wins.
I think this is a game between who's bad and who's worse, honestly. And right now, I think North Forest is worse.
I agree. I don't think either one.
And we all have Mendenhall winning. We want to thank you for watching GroupCast Pick'em. Be sure to tune in every Wednesday for this specific episode or this specific show. We will also be keeping up with which teams we choose and which teams win and which teams lose. And at the end of the season, we'll tally it all up, see who has a winning record, who has the losing record, and who knows, we might even throw a little punishment in there. If you would like your school featured for a featured game of the week, be sure to send us a message on Facebook. We're also on Instagram and Twitter. And also check out our YouTube page. Our YouTube page is where we're going to be posting our episodes of Pick'em. We're working on a few other things. We also have Tiger Talk, which is brought to you by Maggie May Designs, which is hosted by Ethan and Alex here. So we got a lot of big stuff coming up. So like I said, just be sure to check out GroupCast Sports, and thanks for watching.